Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Chapter 0.1 Notes. Today we're talking about operations with integers. Our learning target today is to be able to add and subtract and multiply and divide different integers, and also a review of fractions and order of operations. We're getting a lot of stuff done today. So why don't you guys go ahead and take a look and start copying down the different for adding integers. If the numbers have the same sign, then add them and attach the common sign to the answer. If the numbers have different signs, then subtract them and attach the sign of what there were more of, either positives or negatives. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Okay, are they the same sign or are they different signs? Well, they're the same. So if they're the same, we just learned that if it's the same sign, we need to add them. Okay, so if you need to go off to the side and write 16 plus 15, which is fine because we're not using a calculator right now, it's 11, bring it down, you get 31, and you keep the sign, so it's negative 31. Okay? Okay, now if the signs have different, because right now these are different signs, we subtract them and attach the sign of what there are more of. Okay, so there are more positives. 25 minus 10, that gives us 15. Okay, negative 7 plus 11. What are there more, positives or negatives? Okay, well there are more positives, so subtract. And we get positive 4. Number 4, are they same or different? Okay, they are the same, so we're going to add those numbers. 13 plus 9, what do you get? And don't forget that both of those are negative, so that's a negative 22. Since we're adding them, the sign stays. Okay? 5 through 8, why don't you guys try those, pause the video, and let's see how you do. Okay, and there you go. So 7 plus negative 28, we have more negatives, so we subtract the 2. 28 minus 7 gives us negative 21. Negative 6 plus negative 33, I'm going to put the bigger number on top. They're the same sign, so we add them, and we get negative 39. Negative 40 plus 17, put the 40 on top, that's the bigger, and when you subtract, you got to be careful because you can't take 0 from 7, okay? You have to borrow, the 4 turns into a 3, and then 10 minus 7 is 3, and 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay? All right, well, and there's the answer to 8. Now, when you're subtracting, we need to change the subtraction by adding the opposite. You guys might remember that as click, click. Okay? And then after we do click, click, then we just follow the rules of addition. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite these. So we got negative 18. We're going to change that to plus a minus 9. Okay? Now, they are the same. If you need to go to the side and write those down, you can. And then once you do that, you get a 27. And since they're the same sign, we keep the sign. Okay? Add the opposite, that just turns to negative 10 plus 3. They're opposites, so we subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay? Add the opposite. Okay, we're going to add those two numbers. And when you add those up, you should get 32. And they're both negative. Okay? Last one, number 12. Add them up, they're both positive, and we get 44. All right, let's move on. Multiplying and dividing integers, okay? Now, the key thing to take a look at is you have to count the total amount of negative signs in the multiplication or division problem. If it is an even amount, the result, whoa, my pen is going crazy, is positive, okay? If it's an odd amount, the result is negative, okay? So, let's take a look. How many negative signs do we see here? I just see one, so that means it's going to stay negative. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 5 is 30, and it's going to be a negative 30. Okay? How many negative signs do we see? I see 2. Oh my gosh, my pen is going crazy. Okay, so 36 divided by 6 is 6, and since we have 2, it's even, so it stays positive, and 1 is odd. Okay? Now, number 15. 1, 2, 3, it is odd, so that means our answer is going to be negative. 4 times 1 is 4, and then 4 times 5 is 20. Oh. Okay, and then number 16, odd or even? It's odd, so divide those up. You get negative 12. All right, let's flip it over. Reduce the following fractions if possible. Okay? So when we do this, we need to make sure that we divide by the GCF, okay? By the greatest common factor, okay? What's the biggest number that goes into both 28 and 21? It's 7. And when you get that done, it's going to be 4 over 3, and we have one negative, so it stays negative. Okay, what about B? What's the biggest number that goes into both of those? Let's look at your multiplication charts. Once you do that, you should find that it is 12. Okay? 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. We have 2 negatives, so then it stays positive. Okay? Letter C. See how they both end in zeros? When that happens, you can cross both of them out. And now we're left with 10 over 12, which we can now reduce because you can divide both of that by 2. And you get 5 over 6. And the same thing as the last one, you can cross out a 0 for each one. And then we are left with negative 17 over 30. And that negative, it can either go to the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. There's only one of them. Okay? But we're left with negative 17 over 31 because that does not reduce. Okay? Now, when it says multiply the following fractions, when we multiply this, okay, what we call this is kitty corner canceling. Okay? So, whenever you multiply fractions, you want to make sure that they're over 1. Okay? So, we're going to look at the corners. Can we reduce those? What goes into both of those? 3 does. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and 3 goes into 3 once. And now all we do is multiply across. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Our final answer is 2. Okay? Now we're going to do the same thing with f. We're going to change that to negative 8 over 1 times negative 3 over 17. Can anything reduce? No. Okay, so you just multiply across. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 17 is 17. We have 2 negatives. So when you multiply a negative times a negative, it turns into a positive. All right, G. Negative 49 over 1 times 2 over 7. Let's take a look. Whoa, it's crazy. Can we reduce those? Yes, we can, by 7. 7 goes into 49 7 times. Multiply across, you get negative 14 over 1, which is negative 14. Why don't you guys try number H all on your own? Good luck. And pause that video. Okay, and there's the work. 9 and 18, both of those can be reduced by 9. 5 and 10, both can be reduced by 5. And then all I did was rewrite it below that. Negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 equals positive 1/4. Okay? And now when we're dividing by fractions, when we divide by fractions, what you are really doing is multiplying by the let's shorten that up a little bit. I'm sorry about that. We multiply by the reciprocal, okay? So multiply by the reciprocal. What that means is I have to take this second fraction and flip it, okay? So we get negative 18 over 5. I'm going to change it to multiplication, and then I flip the second one, okay? And now let's check. Can we reduce? Yeah. Goes into once and 6, and we can't do the 5 and the 2. Multiply straight across, we get, oh my gosh, my pen is going crazy. And it still is. So we get negative 12 over negative 5. We've got 2 negatives, so those cancel out, and we're left with 12 over 5. Okay, J. 15 over 1. We're going to flip that. Okay, so 3 over 5. Let's take a look. We can kitty corner reduce those. 5 goes into both of those numbers. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 over 1. We get 9. Okay? All right, K. The first one stays the same. That's 6 over 1. So we're going to flip that. It changes to multiplication. 1 on the top, 6 on the bottom. Can we reduce that? Nope. So multiply straight across, we get negative 25, and then 12 on the bottom. Why don't you guys try L all by yourself? Whoops. let's go back to, there it is, and pause it, and good luck. Okay, so there's the answer. You got to flip it, so it goes to 1 over negative 10. Multiply both of those, and you're multiplying two negatives, so when you multiply two negatives, it turns into a positive. All right, the last part, order of operations. A lot of you guys might remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now we just call them PEMDAs, okay? Remember, we go to parentheses first, exponents and roots, multiplication or division, and the key thing is those are from left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. You do that from left to right, okay? So let's take a look at M. We get 5 plus 16 divided by 2 to the third power times 4 minus 1. Now, the first thing we do there is the exponents. 2 to the third power is 8 times 4 minus 1. Now, what's next? The next thing is actually division, because that comes before the multiplication. 16 divided by 8 is 2 times 4 minus 1. 2 times 4, what's 2 times 4? Hopefully you're saying 8, okay? And now 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 minus 1 is 12. And that's your final answer, okay? Now, N. We go inside the parentheses, okay? 100 minus 3, whenever there's a number next to parentheses, that is multiplication, okay? We go to exponents. I'm sorry, I got to make sure that is a minus sign. 5 squared is 25. Okay, 3 times 25 is 75, and 100 minus 75 is 25. Okay, now for this one, we're going to treat it like it's two different problems. We're going to worry about the top first and then the bottom, okay? So, the top. Oh, let's make that look a little nice. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2, okay? Now we're going to worry about the bottom. I'm going to rewrite it. We got 18 minus 2, 6 minus 4 squared. We go inside the parentheses first. 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, now we have to go and do the exponents right there. We get 18 minus 2 times 4. You have to do multiplication before subtraction. 18 minus 8, and then we get 10. And remember, that's just the top, or the bottom part. The last thing we have to do is to reduce that fraction. My pen is going all crazy. And we divide that by 2. And when we're all done, we get 1/5. Now, if you have any questions, if this was too fast for you, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself for some extra help, because we would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off from the notes from Algebra 1, Chapter 0.1, Operations with Integers. Thanks for watching.